Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 816, Skill Check, recorded live on March 17th, 2022. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
And I'm your other co-host, Godzilla T.
And we, once again, are hostless tonight. He's got some stuff that he's currently dealing with that he's got to take care of, but you have me and GT to go through some of the latest Halo news, and then take off a week, and then be back, and we'll finally start talking about the Halo campaign, because we haven't done that in a while. I've noticed some
Halo. I don't think we've done that.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I
haven't done that, period.
In any detail, at least.
Funny thing is, I started seeing some Halo content creators start posting some of like their initial campaign reviews like this week as well. So we're not too far behind the curve for some people.
Well, I mean, it's good to get over the initial shock, I guess.
That's true.
You know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's better to kind of let it soak in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Play through it a few times, kind of get all the bits and pieces that you want to kind of dive into, and then all the interesting nitty-gritty stuff that we don't get on our first or second playthroughs, but get on multiple playthroughs. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Looking to see if we can get a few different folks on from the community to go through the different parts of the campaign, and also looking to query our listener base for their feedback and input and what they thought about the campaign as well. So we'll be posting that over the next couple of weeks, start garnering some feedback for the whole campaign, but we're going to focus on our next episode, the first two missions, the ones before you actually get to Zeta Halo. So keep that in mind. Let's see, other news on the Podtacular front. GT, let's start off with what we normally do. Fraggin' Friday results. How did you all fare in Halo last week?
Poorly.
Poorly? Uh-oh, is there a story?
No, we had fun. We got the sweaties. We hung around in Fiesta and Tactical Slayer.
It's a weird one, for sure.
Mangler Mangler. Tactical Slayer is
Mangler's one of them.
Is different.
I've only played one tactical game so far since the whole event has started, and the first one I got was Commandos.
Yeah, I haven't got Commandos yet.
And it's rough. I still have not figured out aiming in this game. I really, yeah. Anyways. So you did a little bit of tactical. Did you do anything else?
Did Fiesta. We just kind of
have to
bounced around. I think we did some quick play. You know, we just kind of bounced around with whatever people were needing for challenges. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Glad you all had some fun. I should be there tomorrow since I wasn't there last week. So looking forward to hopping on to some games with y'all, whether it be Halo Infinite or MCC or whatever people decide to go for. On the Achieving Halo side of the house, Bobby and I finally got our general ranks in Halo Wars on 360. So that game is finally put to bed for us. For those that are in our Discord or follow Bobby on Twitter, you would have seen the results of that hour-and-a-half long match of a grind fest.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how it took Bobby that long to kill you.
Apparently I had a strong opening strat, and the units that I purchased slowly whittled down the resources that I had, and he was smart. He turtled early on, so he kept all of his Spartans alive in two Grizzlies and 1 Cobra,
Yeah.
and just got the veterancy on those up, where I was more just kind of spamming out Grizzlies and having to regen Spartans all the time. So by the time he finally turned the tide, he had nearly max veterancy Spartan, Grizzlies, and Cobras.
And you kept feeding him kills, didn't you?
I thought I was taking his tanks out, but apparently I only ever took one of them out.
Yeah, you got to watch those max veterancy vehicles. They're something to be dealt with.
They one-shotted me bringing up Grizzlies, and I would just have a pack of like 9 or 10 of them, and 3 of them had Spartans. So I would try to go for one and try to knock out one. I thought I got more than one, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, it was a grind. It was a lot of fun, but it was a grind. But yeah, well played. I think we both just kept. Well, I kept doing the offensive. He was just kind of defending me until he whittled out my resources. But yeah, apparently, well, he even said that I was doing pretty well. He was pretty impressed with how well I was doing. So,
as he annihilated your units.
I mean, hey, I held out for an hour and a half, which isn't bad.
Probably because he wasn't pushing.
I don't know. I'll let him say in the chat just what his strategy was, but it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we're done, but that last match was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's I've played those games. You know, back in its prime, I've had multiple hour-plus games on a 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, we'll get to, you know, we'll almost annihilate one player, and then it just, we don't have enough to finish it off. Well, no, I mean, you know, we'll generally, you know, we'll try to focus on knocking one player out. So, you know, one of us will, you know, focus on one enemy, and then the other 2 will defend that one while he attacks that one enemy. Sure. But yeah, I've had those back and forth battles.
Yeah. But thank you, Bobby, for trucking it out with me. We went back and saw kind of our achievement unlock progress. So it's been the better part on and off of 8 years of us trying to get these achievements all done.
Oh, I was extremely happy when I got my general rank.
It is a really good feeling to get that done.
Yeah, I've got a couple of my friends that I still have. I haven't played with them in a while because, you know, they get lives. Well, I mean, they both went to college and just they don't have that much time to spend on video games. And of course, now they got real lives. When I first met them, they were, you know, high school students, and they really helped me get my general rank. It was because of them I was able to get it.
Nice. That's awesome. It's nice to have those folks that help you out, and Bobby was the one that helped me out. So that happened on Achieving Halo. That means you can finally put that chapter to rest. I don't know if we'll go back to MCC. We'll probably do some Spartan Assault stuff, some Spartan Strike stuff. Only thing is, I don't believe Bobby has Spartan Assault for the 360. So if anyone out there has Spartan Assault for the 360 and wants to grind out those multiplayer achievements, hit me up, because those are some that I do not have, and I think those are.
I think all I have left to do are the multiplayer ones. Unfortunately, there's one multiplayer one where you have to play with like 6 different people. You have to play co-op with 6 different people.
Oh,
if I remember correct.
Well, still, if there are folks out there who would like to play some co-op and need that achievement, or those achievements, just the multiplayer ones, hit me up. Let me know. That will likely be the next thing I work on, kind of going back and forth between Spartan Strike and Spartan Assault. Trying to get those done. In the midst of doing challenges on MCC and Infinite and achievements there. So that's what's up next for Achieving Halo. That's what's on the docs, at least. Let's get into some of the news. We've got a couple of things to go over, so it's going to be a little bit of a short show. Not too much happened. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more in the coming weeks, if not next couple of months, as we approach the launch of Season 2, and as 343 kind of wraps up some of the features that are going to be going into Season 2. First up, let's talk about the Halo TV series. There's a post over on Xbox Wire a couple of days ago, on the 14th. They released their second trailer that is kind of detailing out some more of the lore aspects. We got a few interesting clips in there. I know GTU pointed out the Prophet scene from the trailer. The Prophet looks really, really good. Lots of nice nods to a whole bunch of different parts of the Halo universe as it's established, and with all the different shots and landscapes and whatnot, I'm curious to see how broad the story is going to encompass. It's obviously not any one particular city or possibly not one particular planet, but kind of how it's going, like all the different scenes going back and forth. I'm curious to see how much this is going to cover. It looks like there's multiple angles, multiple stories being told in parallel. Despite the critical reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, it currently has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes out of like 15 reviews or something. I'm kind of hopeful for it. I mean, it's obviously not gonna...
I believe in the title of that, Rotten Tomatoes. Most of the reviewers are rotten. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I still have to figure out how I'm going to watch it. I honestly, I've never put much into any reviewer's opinion because it seems like every time they say it's crap, I love it.
Yeah. You'll see some interesting reviews where critics will completely trash some release and then viewers actually love it. So it's like, why are we even listening to these critics? It's like, they obviously don't have a overall general consensus of what the mass populace agrees on. So,
well, I think, and honestly, I will say that being a reviewer of a TV show or a movie, it's hard to separate your opinion or your preferences from your opinion.
And another part that's kind of sticking in my mind too is a lot of these critics are probably more generic watching. They kind of watch anything and everything. So,
well, they're paid critics.
Yeah. Where people that are going to be watching it are more likely to have a reason to watch it. So it'll lean towards one extreme or the other, whether they really like it or they really won't. I think for something like, it's like something that I've been interested in recently because of doing D&D stuff recently is Critical Role. And the thing that just came out on Amazon Prime, The Legend of Vox Machina, it wasn't very well received, but the folks that it was intended for really loved the series, and it got an overwhelmingly positive review from the people that watched it. And there are going to be people that are not going to be too much of a fan of this because it doesn't follow the game canon and the lore that's established there, which they've been upfront about, at least.
And honestly, for the main reasons that they have been upfront about it, I don't have a problem with it. It's not the same thing as what they did with the animated series Fall of Reach.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, they had to adapt the book to a short form content. I understand that they had to abbreviate the storyline, but there are things in there that they changed that did not need to be changed. It's just, it was changed for the sake of change. And, that's the part that really gets me.
Yeah. It wasn't even a retcon. It was just completely. Yeah. I would say for those that are watching it, I'm not going to be I guess, as like invested in kind of diving in for details that I would normally be to see how it kind of fits in with the rest of the narrative and what hints
Well,
are
I'll
they
dive in
throwing
for
in.
details because it's still a Halo timeline.
Yeah, but you don't have to be
But
like
it'll be
figuring out where it connects all the dots.
It'll be somewhat of a self-contained timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also give you a second perspective on the main timeline. So
yeah, all in all, I'm hopeful for it. They've had 8 years, at least 9 years, for this to kind of be fine-tuned, and I'm hopeful that's a sign that they really took their time to make sure what they're going to be making is something that will be appropriate for Halo fans and appropriate for people that will be introduced to Halo through this medium. And thank you, Pins, for the, was it that 5 gifted subs? Yeah.
5 tier 1 subs.
5 gifted subs to Bobby Cannon _. That's a new one. Frizzled, Venture Jones, and Laird. Thank you. Thank you, Pins, for the gifted subs. Sadly, I do not have, well, I don't have the ones where you gift subs, but I do, well, I have more than 5 gift subs, so I don't have anything on the Maybe Go card tonight for that, which sucks.
They have just for reference, 283 total gift subs to this channel.
Dang, Pins. 284.
Oh, did he just do another one? Yeah, 284 now. Okay.
Yeah.
He missed Eric Boo, so.
There we go. Now I got my more than 5. So Eric Boo has a sub now. Thank you, Pins. It's actually been a little while since Pins did a gift sub bomb. So
yeah, he's been responsible lately.
Yeah. The wife had to wrangle him in.
I wonder if the wife said something.
It's like, why is our bank account like half going to Twitch? Sorry. Apparently I wasn't following him on Twitch either, because he was reading through the Halsey Journal last night, and he posted in the Podtacular Discord, like he usually does, that he was streaming. For some reason I wasn't following him on Twitch. I'm like, how did that happen? Because I know I've watched him for previous streams before. Although Twitch does have a habit of unfollowing sometimes.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So
maybe I was following at one point Pins, and then I somehow got unfollowed. Pins is like, she's on the couch next to me. Oh man.
He's doing it in secret.
So you had mentioned the whole kind of watching it thing, and another part of this article was to say that anyone who has Game Pass Ultimate will get a Paramount 30-day free perk as part of your Game Pass Ultimate, which kind of begs the question, will that be long enough to actually watch the entire series? Like, will they actually...
Like, are they going to post the whole series at once, or is it going to be a weekly deal? A regular 13-episode season?
Yeah, because if it's just going to be one episode per week and there's multiple episodes, I'm going to save that 30-day trial for the very end, when I can just binge watch the whole thing. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. That at least gives, I guess, some Halo fans access to it without having to pay for it.
Yeah, and was really looking forward to just finding it on my dashboard. I mean, I
you
get
can
it.
with Paramount Plus, installing the app and signing up for an account.
Yeah,
I guess that's not what you meant, though.
30 days.
Right, for 30 days.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a little sad.
I have fallen. I've really fallen out of interest with the streaming apps. This whole exclusivity stuff that has been, just slowly taking over all the platforms.
Yep.
Back when it was basically Netflix and Hulu, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You had you could subscribe to either one and you could find something to watch. Now, I used to have Netflix and I used to have Hulu both. And it got to the point where I went through both their libraries and there was nothing from that interested me because this one's exclusive to this streaming network. This one's exclusive to this one. This one's already, this one was exclusive to this one. And then, the course, the shows that I was actually watching stopped production.
Yep.
There was one on Netflix that I watched. It was called The 100, and it was a Netflix
original
produced show, and it all of a sudden it just quit. Now they may have started production on it again, but
yeah. It reminds me, I need to go through my subscriptions with my wife and see what maybe actually come up with a more stringent strategy on like halting subscriptions. Because, yeah. Anyways,
I mean, I basically went back to it's cable TV, but it's streaming. Yeah, I basically started using. Oh, it was a CW show. Sorry, I thought it was a Netflix show. Thank you, Laird, for correcting me. I use Sling, and I basically use it for two things, so the wife can watch NASCAR and football. And I mean, we watch other stuff, but that's the main reason.
Yeah, it almost doesn't really, with how many different subscriptions.
Yeah, I can't see subscribing to 5 different streaming services at $10 a month pop to be able to watch the shows I want to watch.
I mean, we're paying for right now Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus. I think those are the only 3 that we're paying for right now.
Well, I've got HBO Max right now thanks to my cell phone carrier, but I've watched 3 movies in the last year.
My wife uses our streaming stuff more than I do. And she hops around between all 3 of them, so we have a use for them.
Well, yeah, I would have a use for them too, but the whole idea behind, the original idea behind the streaming was to get away from
having to pay for what you don't
having
watch.
The cable subscription and having to subscribe to HBO and Showtime and all the other stuff to have this huge cable bill. Well, now you just have this huge streaming service bill. Mm-hmm. So you're not where you were.
I haven't looked at this, and it's something that I've talked about, but I actually haven't looked into. But I wonder if like going back to a cable subscription or going to like an ISP and getting that bundle is cheaper than.
Well, it depends.
Like I said, I haven't
used
gone
Sling
and looked
because I didn't want the extra cable bill, because cable TV around here, it's, the Sling package is still half the price of what the cable TV companies want to give you. And I still get the channels that I do sometimes watch without all the extra garbage that I don't. Don't get me wrong, there's garbage on there that I don't watch anyway, but
what's their on-demand experience like?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
I just, if I want to rent a movie, I go to the Xbox store.
Got it.
Because I mean, if it's on demand in a cable service, it's usually available on the Xbox Marketplace.
Some of the shows that she watches, we just have been recently buying the Blu-rays of the seasons, and then she'll just watch them off our Plex.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I've been doing. I've been waiting. I'm waiting patiently for one of the seasons to become one of the shows to become available at a reasonable price.
Mm.
It's exceptionally overpriced right now for some reason, even though it's been off the air for multiple years. So,
what show?
Castle.
Ah, is that still being made, or is that done? That's done.
No, that's done.
It's got.
And I actually finally got to see the last episode on a random thought. And the whole time from the time they shut it down till now, I have not seen the last episode until the other night.
Huh. I honestly haven't seen a single episode of it somehow.
It's interesting.
I mean, the premise seems interesting.
There are multiple Firefly references throughout the entire.
I mean, there has to be. I mean,
Matter of fact,
look who's on it.
In one episode, guess what his Halloween costume is?
Mal. Yep. Oh, he took that from the production set.
Oh yeah,
if not multiples.
What are you supposed to be? A space cowboy.
Even had to pull the generic because of copyright. Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool.
Oh, he sneaks those inflections in there every once in a while. Just the little one-liners.
Mm-hmm. It's a little tease, and it just tickles the brain cells a little bit. Yeah. Bam, said the lady.
Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
Back to Halo 2. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just got to figure out how I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I'm going to wait to see how the release strategy is, if they do the multiple per week, or if it's one a week, and then I'm going to save that 30-day until the end to binge watch it. See what else I can binge watch.
Provided there's not a time limit on it.
Well, maybe it's... What do you mean?
You have to use it within this period of time.
I mean, that stuff's usually within, 3 months.
Like I said.
It's a valid point. Otherwise, just wait for the Blu-ray to come out. So, moving on. We have a look at Halo Infinite's ranking experience. This was an article that was posted on Friday last week, going into a little bit more detail behind the ranking system, behind True Skill, MMR, and how matchmaking takes all those things into account. If you want the nitty-gritty details, you can head on over to Halo Waypoint and check this out, but it kind of goes over a lot of what we already knew. It also explains a little bit why social games play a little bit of an impact into your True Skill. The short of it is they're using that to more quickly get to what your actual skill is, which I can kind of see an argument for and against it, because if you're doing social, maybe you're not playing as concerted or aggressively. Yeah, so it might not be a true representation of your skill. But the overall determination of how you match up skill-wise is a little bit more restrained to that specific playlist. So there are different weights and balances with your MMR, with your True Skill, and how it determines your CSR rank, and also how it matches you into games. They also kind of reiterate that CSR is kind of not a direct correlation to your MMR, but more of a little bit of a softer rank, where one detriment of a match isn't going to just instantly drop you down CSR ranks. So for some reason, if you have a really bad game for some reason, and then you have an okay game, your CSR really shouldn't change much because maybe you just had a bad game. So that while MMR adjusts almost literally to each game performance, your CSR is a little more squishy and will be a little bit more resistant to change and looks for actual trends to change, where MMR is a little bit more of an immediate change.
Squishy.
It's all squishy. That's kind of the gist of it. There's a lot of technical detail in here too. It doesn't get super technical. It's a pretty easy read, I think, overall, if people are interested in learning a little bit more about it. I still think that, just based on experience, the matching is kind of weird. Doesn't feel like it's as balanced as it was for Halo 5, just from my personal experience. Not to say that the system is necessarily broken.
Noticed, when I'm by myself, it does a lot better at matching than when I'm with a group. When it's trying to balance multiple skill levels, I find it feels like it gets a little confused.
It does a little bit. And a lot of the information, I think, has just been, okay, what has the community observed? So now that we have this article, I think that it helps demystify and clarify what's actually going on under the hood. So that I think will help give people that are actually interested in learning about the system, because let's face it, there are going to be people out there that are just going to see what they see in game and not go over and read on Waypoint. I would be curious just to see what the numbers would, not that we could ever get these numbers, but just what the numbers are of people who play Halo on a regular or somewhat regular basis, actually go visit Halo Waypoint for all of the posts that they make, whether it be specifically Infinite related, whether it's Infinite Roadmap or things like this, HCS news or community.
Speaking from
updates.
Experience, their current website probably has pretty low traffic.
Visually, it's not that great. Visually, it's a website from 2004. That might be giving it too much credit.
I'll tell you this much. It looks fine on a smartphone, but when you're at a computer desk, no.
I mean, it's one of those websites where it was designed for mobile, and they did not make a desktop version of the site. That's what it feels like, at least.
Mm-hmm. You need to bring back more features, 343. When it comes to your website, it pales in comparison to your previous ones.
Yeah, previous version was a website. This is a mobile experience.
I wouldn't even call it an experience.
I know, I was being generous with that one, but yeah. Oh, one other thing. One other thing from the article. If you're teaming up, it actually bumps up your overall anticipated rank as you're going in and you're getting matched up, because it assumes that because you're going in together, you're more coordinated, so therefore your overall skill should be bumped up.
Mm-hmm.
Which might explain why when Ace and I were playing with Bobby a couple weeks ago, we kept getting ranked with diamonds and plats, because, yeah. Anyways, if you want to learn more about the current implementation, feel free to go on over to Halo Waypoint and give that a check out. The only other thing that came out this week was our next installation of the Community Spotlight. And as GT and I were talking about this and looking over it, we're happy it's kind of a once a month cadence right now and not every other week.
Yeah.
And I love you, Sam, but yours were very long. Not to discount all the community stuff that was in there. It was all great stuff, but I appreciate a little bit shorter and more concise format that's currently being used. It's not, okay, I'm going through it for 10, 20 minutes.
If anybody's interested, go look up the community update, and third picture down is my favorite. So
Community Spotlight, yep.
Or Community Spotlight. So
technically second picture, because there's the header one, which is the same as the first one, but second one.
Third picture.
One. Okay. Yes.
Count 3 pictures.
It is the one with Chief, the pilot, and Cortana. That'll line it up. There's a reason why this is near the top.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
it's the second feature. Third picture, including the header image. There's a lot of good ones on here, though. The Reach cover art, that was kind of a watermark, was an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
They're
all good.
There's one that caught you.
Awesome.
There's one that caught you, which was interesting. The Pringles box.
It had me questioning my sanity.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
There's a graphic design student by the name of Trex Harris 100 who shared on Reddit a box. It's basically, he took the wavy Pringles MOA that came out a while ago that GT's getting his can from. And this person made a box that looked like it would contain 4 cans or 4 sleeves of Pringles. But he designed it and printed it out and made it into a box. And GT was like, wait, they had a box of this? And I'm like, it's not real, GT.
I was scrolling pictures. Thank you. I was not reading.
But hey, to say that someone in the community made that and convinced someone that, hey, was this an actual product? Hire that guy for some marketing stuff and product stuff, That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one that stuck out to me, because of my gamertag being Duststorm, and there was the Halo 3 promotional image of Chief with the dual SMGs and the tanks in the background, and the sand that was kind of causing a dust storm. Ethereal made a Halo Infinite-esque version of it, and I am really loving it. I am really loving it. This speaks to me.
So definitely go check it out.
Yeah, that one's probably my favorite out of all the ones from this month's update.
Mm-hmm.
But there's lots of good stuff on here. Mostly lots of hand-drawn art or computer graphics art. So I appreciate people who do screenshots, but I definitely appreciate like really focusing on the artistry that the community is really putting together right now. And this really fits the bill.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. So thank you, Horispis, for all you have done to pull this together, and thank you for the monthly cadence and not the bi-weekly cadence, because it makes our jobs a little less stressful, to say the least.
And the odds are it's not going to come out 5 minutes after we shut down the podcast.
Right.
Odds. I'm not saying it won't.
This one came out 9 hours ago, not 1 hour ago.
It's better odds.
Yes. The odds are more in our favor, so to speak. But that's it for the podcast today. Not a lot of news going on. There's supposed leaks out there and community stuff that we've talked about plenty, and we've run that record dole. So not going to really talk about that. Once we have actionable news from some source out there, we'll talk about it. So, yeah. That's going to wrap it up. Make sure you go into our Discord and vote for the game night poll that we'll be posting tomorrow. That'll determine if we're going to have Halo Infinite, MCC, or Halo 5 be the game. We will not have a podcast next week or a game night next week. GT has some family stuff to take care of, and I technically do too, as me and my wife will be away for our anniversary. So pretty much nothing Podtacular stuff happening next week. Our next episode will be the week after, and we'll be talking about the first 2 campaign missions in Halo Infinite. We'll start putting polls out there, or start asking community for feedback on our socials, on Discord, and start getting a discussion going around the Infinite campaign, since we haven't talked about it yet on this podcast. And to answer Eric Yubu's question, because of the release cadence of the TV series, and because GT and I don't want to pay for yet another streaming service, we're going to be waiting until the series is done before we talk about it. So, sorry, but
so I'll be looking for the Blu-ray.
We're going to be try to be fiscally responsible for that. Also, since Pins, you mentioned it in the chat, Pins has been reading through Halsey's journal on his Twitch. So if you want to check him out, Pins Halo over on Twitch, he's been going through that over the last couple of days. So go check him out. Pins, if you're doing that, just let me know. I can host you on Podtacular after this is done. I don't know what your plan is for tonight, but if it is, we can host you afterwards. You can check us out on all of our socials. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can also check us out on Twitch every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, except for next week. And on Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our Fragging Fridays, except for next week. Hosted by GT. Again, hop into our Discord for the community poll. We also have Achieving Halo that happens at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Times on Sunday. Still not sure what I'm going to jump into on Sunday this week, but it'll either be Spartan Assault, Spartan Strike, or maybe working on some challenges for the Tactical Slayer stuff happening in Halo Infinite. Stay tuned to socials and Discord for all of that news when it comes out. Feel free to come on over to our Discord again and vote. You can also support the community and the podcast by sharing us on your socials, sharing us with your friends, leaving us reviews on podcasting services. It really helps us out. If you want to support us monetarily, you can do so in a number of different ways. You can subscribe to us on Twitch, or ask Pins for a subscription, since it sounds like he's giving subscriptions away now. You can become a patron on Patreon, along with Confowl, Pins, and Prestige. And you can also donate to us directly via PayPal if you would like to as well. Podtacular.com/donate for that. I hope you all have a great week off while we are away. Don't miss us too much. We'll see you all in a couple of game nights until our next podcast. Any final thoughts, GT, before we wrap up?
I did have one piece of good news. I did finish my battle pass last night.
Very good.
I've made it to 100.
Got all the way to 100.
It only took me 5 months.
I'm still in the 20s. Granted, I don't play very often because right now I'm not finding multiplayer that fun. It is a grind.
Oh, I enjoy it, and I don't. That's just it. I don't grind it. Especially since we had an extra 3 months on this battle pass. I didn't grind it. I just took my time so I could enjoy Halo. So I can enjoy what is there. And it was a lot of fun.
That's good.
I play it to have fun, not to get armor, not to get completions on a battle pass, which, I've done that in other games, and it takes all the fun out of the game when you feel the need to complete the battle pass.
Yeah. I guess I just haven't found that fun spot for me where even just playing with folks is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, still working on it. I think part of it is still exacerbated by the fact that I haven't figured out the aiming yet, which frustrates me because that means I can't really aim or do what I want to do in the game.
Well, there's a lot of things I haven't figured out yet, like how the bulldog can kill you from BR range. Anyway,
that doesn't sound right. Anyways,
there are things that just don't work right in my brain. That's one of them.
Fair point.
And the other one is, why is the Hydra in the game?
I still haven't figured out the Hydra meta yet.
I haven't figured out a good use for it yet.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the Hydra meta yet either. And I'm aware of metas for quite a few of the other ones, like the Cinder Shot and the Plasma Pistol.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of figured out the meta for the Bulldog a little bit, but still haven't figured that out. But yeah, still haven't got the Hydra one yet either. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will catch you all in a couple of weeks for the podcast version. We'll see you all tomorrow for Fragging Friday. Otherwise, keep on fragging them trucks.